Hello. In this video I'll introduce the concept of adding instance member variables to a class and use them in the first version of DrawingApp, version 1.1. I'll demonstrate the actual implementation in Java in the next video, the hands-on. First, a note about the version number notation that I'll use. So we start with DrawingApp 1.1. Now the first one refers to the first module, classes and objects. The second one refers to step 1, and there'll be about 9 steps in module 1, and then we move on to module 2. This video, step 1, is about instance member variables. Now, as explained in the Getting Started video, we performed a small analysis of DrawingApp. That led to specifications, and we'll use those now as our starting point to implement a first version. So the first step is to implement the properties of rectangle. What were those properties? We had the x and y coordinates, the height and the width. With these properties we can draw a rectangle. The data types we decided to use were integers, and we have to keep in mind that there are some restrictions as to the values that we can use, but more on that in a later version. So the first step is translate specifications to a UML diagram, and that leads to the following class diagram. So we have our rectangle class in which we define the 4 properties x, y, height, width of type integer. The plus means public. What that really means will be explained in the video about encapsulation. Now these are what we call member variables that will be linked to a specific object. We call them instance member variables. Next step is to translate the UML diagram to Java code, and that will result in the following library class rectangle. So public class rectangle, and we have our 4 properties x, y, height and width with the access modifier public. This will be implemented in a file with the same name as the name of the class, rectangle.java, and we call this the definition of the class. And the final step is to use rectangle in, for instance, the following application class DrawingApp in a file bearing the same name as the name of the class, drawingapp.java. We call this the client code. It's the class that is using a rectangle, because what are we doing here? We're creating an instance of rectangle. We call this instantiation, and then using the reference variable rect1, which refers to the objects, we're going to assign some values to the properties x, y, height and width, after which we are going to print it out, and that'll result in following output in the console. Time to implement all this in the hands-on session 1.1. So what am I going to demonstrate? In package mod01 class object.lib, I'm going to add package dm01 instance member variables and implement class rectangle. And in the app package of module 1, I'm going to add dm01 instance member variables as well and implement class DrawingApp. Okay, see you in the hands-on video. Bye bye.